maybe this gets missed by a lot of people. And I got to think that this is a component in how this relationship went sour. ESPN launched the SEC network in 2014, and they worked extremely hard on it. They went full force on this to the point where the launch of the SEC network went to just about 1 million less homes than ESPN itself. They brought the SEC subscribership out of the gate to as many homes as ESPN2 and just under ESPN, like 90 some million homes right out of the gate. And they also poured a lot of production and big time talent into that network. And you can see the obvious difference between the ACC network and the SEC network. When you flip on the SEC network, the documentaries, the studio shows, all of it, you might as well be watching ESPN for the most part.
Yeah.
You watch the ACC network, it's good, but it's not quite as good. And it was launched 4 or 5 years later. And I don't know if this was ESPN being full of itself and thinking, hey, we just did this 4 years ago. This is easy. And this is just going to happen for us, and didn't hustle as much. Or maybe it was the ACC not pushing ESPN to do it first rate, like the SEC may have pushed ESPN to say, hey, if we're going in partnership with you, it's got to be first rate. And when the ACC network launched, it had a small fraction of the subscriber base, and wasn't done as well. Didn't make as much money, obviously.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you remember, like, we were all scrambling, like, for secondary subscriptions on trial. Like, I have Uverse here because that's what I have and have choose to contract, as opposed to Comcast. But it wasn't on Comcast and it wasn't on Uverse. It got on Uverse first, but still, that first game after we joined the ACC network that was on ACC network, like, I had to get a YouTube TV subscription for a week just on a trial to try, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm squarely in the footprint, and it was just like ongoing battles like that, and like, yeah, like, if you're talking about all of the ancillary content that's there, I mean, like, there's so much on the SEC network that's really, really, really top quality, whereas ACC network does still look like a really good, but still like a student production in so many ways. And like, you could have said, look, Clemson and Florida State football were better than Miami. Those were the draws when when the network started. So every game possible goes there. Duke basketball, Carolina basketball, half of their seasons are exclusively there. You know what I mean? Like, you could have easily done stuff like that to drive that. I mean, there could have been even more documentaries, but even short of those things, the SEC network leans in to the regionality of things, to their local legends and whatnot. And there's just so much a richer base of content that, like, the ACC just doesn't care. What was his name? Swafford, who was the commissioner? Yeah, I think that he sold out the conference because he knew that was going to be one of the last things he did, and said, I want the achievement of getting the channel, opposed to like the quality of content or the widespread nature of subscribers or anything, because at the end of the day, I'm going to retire in 2 years. So I will be remembered for having secured the channel at all, regardless of the lack of quality. And I think that all of the teams and schools and everything, in a real fiscal way, up to $864 million, like Mark detailed a couple minutes ago, are all holding the bag for that man's hubris, because he wanted what he got and did not give a nary damn about the quality or the financial component of it. It's just so long as, after being asked about it at ACC kickoff for multiple years, and had that Cheshire cat, who ate the canary grin. Hey, what's up with the ACC network? Is that coming? I have no comment at this time. The next year, hey, Swaff, is the ACC network? I don't know either, guys. I don't know. It's funny Allen Iverson, the practice rant. It's funny to me too, guys. I don't know. We'll see. Ha 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 ha. And then the third year, okay, cool. You caught me. I've been working on it for the last 5 years, guys. Yeah, we're going to debut the ACC network, blah, 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 blah. I'm 74 years old. I look like, Mac Brown's grandpa, great. Pat me on the back on the way out. Don't ask me anything else about that other than we're going to have that channel, because I don't care about anything with that. Not the quality or the finances, only the fact that it exists, even if it's terrible. Great. You're welcome. That's your Christmas present. Okay, bye.
The college football playoff format that has been extended now in terms of the television contract from 2026 through 31, so those 6 seasons, tells us that the Big Ten and the SEC will be receiving $21 million per school per season. The ACC at $13 million. Okay, on the surface, without extrapolating, sounds like, okay, well, that's a big disparity, but they're huge schools, 21 million, 13 million, big deal. 18 teams in the Big Ten, 18 schools receiving $8 more million. That's, I did the math here, 114 million, 144 million more. So every college football postseason, this is in addition to receiving so much more from Fox and CBS and NBC in the regular season. Just in the postseason, the Big Ten, for example, will receive $144 million per year, more than the ACC. And then on top of that, it's, of course, the 6-year contract, $864 million gap between those two conferences if it plays out to the end.
I mean, that's just short of $1 billion with a B, like boy. Like, that's not chump change.